guys, this is Comic Kangaroo here to review my poll list from the last 2 weeks. I would have just done this week, but I only picked up 2 books. So let's start off with Scarlet Spider issue 7, written by Chris Yost with art by Koi Pham. Scarlet Spider was a book I started reading at issue 5 because I started hearing good things about it. I'm bummed out that Koi Pham's doing the artwork. Not that his artwork is necessarily bad. I don't think that. It's just, I feel Stegman had better art, honestly. I liked his art a lot more. I thought it just was better than Koi Pham's. I feel his artwork is too dull and plain, in all honesty. It doesn't, I'm not as interested as I am when I see the artwork with Stegman. But this book is not bad at all. I enjoyed it. It's one of those few books that I would say is kind of obscure, surprisingly for a Spider-Man family book, but it's a book I do like. I feel that it's interesting, but the last issue he fought Anna Kravinoff, so you would expect the book to lead up more to that, but instead it focuses more on Kane and a terrorist attack, I guess you would call it, with a missile. I really do like Kane, and I really do like Chris Yost writing the book, but I feel that I really want Stegman back as the artist, and if you have been reading the series so far, I wouldn't say this book was something that you should stop reading the series for, but I wouldn't say this is the best jumping on point. I feel like, from what I have read of the series, this is the weakest issue. But yeah, I would give this a 6 out of 10. I do think that if you have been reading it, and you do like Scarlet Spider a lot, pick it up. This book isn't a terrible letdown, but it's not a revelation either. So, on to my next book from Marvel from last week. Venom issue 20, which is Savage 6 Part 3, written by Rick Remender and Cullen Bunn, art by Lan Medina and Robert Atkins. Venom, I feel, has started to go downhill since Savage 6. Last year, this book was my favorite book coming out on stands, and now it's really dropped, I would say, in quality. The book's not bad, but it's not as impressive. Lan Medina's art still really keeps me on the book, I would say. This book's not bad. I think I might stop reading after Rick Remender's run. I don't trust Cullen Bunn whatsoever. I feel that after he started writing on the book dropped in quality, and why read a book if it's not in good quality, right? So I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. So it's weird because if you read the last issue, this I guess is kind of a spoiler, so you might want to stop reading or listening to this. In the description, I'll have my out of 10 for what the book is and recommendations and stuff. So just look at the description. Last issue, I thought Flash's mom was killed and eaten by the human fly. This is not the case. I guess the human fly was just eating someone else, but I feel like that's too big of a coincidence. I feel kind of confused by that. What was the purpose of that? There's a huge revelation here over. We find out Crime Master's identity. I'm not going to spoil that, but Venom kind of loses it. He kind of goes crazy, so that was cool in a sense, but I really missed the beginning of this book where it was all espionage. I feel that was where it was strongest. But yeah, pick this up. It's not bad. I would say 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. And next book is Batman issue 11, the epic finale to the Court of Owls story arc, written by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. And for the backup, it's also Scott Snyder writing it along with James something. Was it? It is James Tynion the fourth, and artist by Raphael Albuquerque. Apparently, this was the best book I picked up out of these 2 weeks. Scott Snyder's really hitting it out of the park with this book. This isn't my favorite out of the New 52. I think there's one better title, and then another title that's tied for second place with this one. But I really, this was a 10 out of 10 for me. Greg Capullo does amazing art with this. It's not, as great, I would say, as someone like David Finch, but Capullo has, or Capullo, however you pronounce it, has really definitive art, and Scott Snyder wrote this great. He really shows that Batman, as great as he is, he's vulnerable. He is a man, so this is phenomenal. It's $4. I'm wondering if the book's going to stay $4. I mean, I wouldn't mind because it's great stuff. But yeah, I would pick this up. This is not a jumping on point. But this is phenomenal. And I really like how Scott Snyder makes it so you can really debate on what happens at the end over what's true and what's not. But this book is phenomenal. This book is, if you're not reading it, read it. Probably pick it up after starting at issue 0, which is going to be in September, or start picking up in issue 12, depending on how that works out. But issue 13 is a new story arc that I'm really excited for. Next book is Demonites issue 11, written by Paul Cornell with art by Dionys Neves and Robson Roca, I believe. First off, I'm going to say, Paul Cornell, he takes something so obscure as Demonites, where it's, I would say, medieval times, and, there's Camelot, and there's knights, and demons, and sea serpents, and I really like how he writes it, because this book could be either really good or really bad, and obviously, from what I just said, Paul Cornell makes this phenomenal. This is the book I was talking about that ties with Batman. I'm really nervous, though, if this book is going to not make as many sales to stay afloat, because it is not a well-known book. It's, like I said, really obscure, so not a lot of people are picking up, because I guess they're more hesitant to, but this is a really good book. Diogenes, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I guess I'll just say Mr. Neves, or Neves, whatever. He really, I love his art. It reminds me of Oliver Coipel's art from The Mighty Thor, but I like it more. If you did like The Mighty Thor, I highly recommend this. I don't like Robson Roca. I really wish Dionys Neves just continuously did the art in the book. I just prefer his art. But, this book is fantastic. This is not my favorite out of Demonites, but it is really great. I would put this as a 9 out of 10. This is not a jumping on point. If you want to jump onto the series, start with either issue 1, or if you don't have enough money, start with issue 8 and continue on. Or issue 9. That's it for last week's issues, and this week I only have 2 books. First one being Daredevil issue 15. Daredevil I didn't give a lot of credit last year. It was a really great book, but I don't like Martin's art as much as Rivera's. I just think Rivera has been doing the best with art in this book, but as Venom started to grow weaker, this book I feel started to grow stronger, and I just feel like this book is an epic story. I really like how Wade, he could write this book to be a tragedy, but no, he writes it where Matt's, he's trying to be the guy who smiles all the time. And that's really great. Yeah, I really wish Rivera was still doing the art, but Samney's not bad. Chris Samney does the art in this, by the way. This book is now my favorite Marvel book. It's also just not my favorite book, but it's one of my favorites. I would tie it with Aquaman. Aquaman's my favorite book coming out. But this book is really good. I really like how Wade his stories aren't really repetitive. They're all out there and they're all memorable. And it's really interesting how, spoilers, Daredevil lost his senses. And you really see him struggle with that. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He doesn't know if he escaped Latveria or if he has been caught. And the book is great. This also features the Avengers at the very end, but this is a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. It's not a jumping on point, like I said, for a lot of other books. Jump on at issue 12, I would say. But yeah, it's really great. It was my favorite of this week. The other book I picked up this week was Wonder Woman issue 11. I did not actually pick this up at the comic book shop the next day, Thursday, yesterday. I was walking around at Barnes & Noble, and I saw issue 11. It looked in good shape, so I picked it up. The cover kind of bothered me, with Strife, I think her name is, and Zola. The cover's kind of weird, in that opinion, to me. But Wonder Woman, she's cool on the cover. I really do like Brian Azzarello as the writer and Cliff Chiang as the artist. Cliff Chiang puts the art really good. I really like his art. He draws a great Diana, and his art is beautiful, I would say. And Brian Azzarello, I love how this book focuses so much on Greek mythology, and growing up, I do enjoy Greek mythology, so it's nice to have a nod to that and a comic where there's a lot of references to that. Not necessarily Greek mythology, or it is Greek mythology, but not stories, more so involving characters from those stories. This is great. It's only for $3. It's one of the best of the New 52, I would say. From what I am reading, it's I'd say it's better than Flash, but it's not the best book I'm reading in the New 52. Like I said, that's Aquaman. So this is also a jumping on point for the book, and it's really interesting what happens here. I really like how each Greek mythological character is drawn in the gods, and this book just is fantastic. I was surprised to see how successful it was. I started reading at issue 6, so this book is phenomenal. If you're looking for a book in the New 52 to start off with, I would recommend this one for your jumping on point, just because it's a new story. Although it's better once you know things they're referencing in previous issues, but overall, I would say pick this book up. I think it was a great issue, and it truly is one of my favorite books DC comes out with, because I just think it properly captures the idea of Wonder Woman, where she should be iconic. She should be a character that should be as strong and have a great mythos to her, and I don't feel she was ever given a representation like that before. Now, but yeah. The New 52, pretty hesitant with still, because there's only a few books I think are good. But I would still, yeah, I still support the New 52 just because of books like these, like Wonder Woman, that are great. So I would recommend this for people who like Wonder Woman. Sorry if I'm getting a little repetitive, but I'm sorry, my throat's scratchy. Yeah, I really recommend this book. It is phenomenal. I would give this book a 9 out of 10, I would say, but Daredevil was still my favorite this week. And yeah, so that's all the books this week. I'll be back next week to review the other books, and stay tuned till then.